Don, is he worth it?
How do I phrase this, Sebi? Trying to be kind. From what I hear, no, nothing to do with the talent. The talent's there. I was there in Athens when he scored in the Super Cup final. Everyone knows that he's a player. And Pep was asked after the game, does he stay? Does he go on loan? And Pep said he'll definitely not go on loan. We might sell. And I thought that's a strange thing to say about a young player that's just scored with a talent. But I'll try and be kind here. From what I hear, I think he's not great away from the training ground. That might be a reason why they might be selling him.
Frank?
My concern is not about Palmer. I mean, it's fantastic for him that he can come to a club after being in a big club and not being able to play. And I don't really know the guy. But again and again with Chelsea, I really wonder, what kind of squad they're going to get, and what they try to get. That I'm very surprised with the choices that they make, where we all know that what they need is experienced players, not brand new players who have no games in their hands or in their legs, or few of them in their career. That guy is maybe very talented, is maybe very promising, but Chelsea have a legend of players like that. They don't need those kind of players anymore. They need experienced players to make the team being being bigger, and again, being experienced. That's my concern about that. I don't understand why you have to buy 45 million pounds for a player who have no experience, where you're looking for the experience. I'm very concerned about the people who make the choices at Chelsea. Why do they want to build like only, I would say, youth players to build the first team of Chelsea? I don't get it.
Stevie, we were talking about this. What about the City perspective here?
Well, they don't fancy him. They're not letting a guy. Listen, they just let Mahrez go. Mm-hmm. So if you're Palmer, you're thinking, wow, great, let Mahrez go. That means there's an opportunity here for me. But then, if you're the club and you've let Mahrez go, you're thinking, this guy's not good enough to fill his boots. So we're going to have to bring in somebody else, which means he's going to have to go.
Because if he is good enough, selling him to Chelsea is a big risk, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, again, I'm with Frank. I don't know what Chelsea's thinking about. Listen, there's one thing to have young players, as he said, right? But there's another thing to have 9 kids and 2 older heads. But if the 2 older heads, that's not their bag, try to help the young kids, then you're up a gum tree. And Pochettino might be good at bringing along players, but you can't bring on, as I said, if you've got 9 kids in the team. I mean, the whole thing doesn't make any sense, quite frankly. If the guy is good, it makes no sense for City to get rid of him. And particularly with the squad Chelsea have, it makes no sense for them to sign another kid with no experience, basically. The whole thing makes no sense to me, honestly.
All right, so Cole Palmer then, on his way to Chelsea, apparently. On his way out of Stamford Bridge, Marc Cucurella, I think, Frank, I don't think I'm misquoting you here. You said at one point he was not good enough for Chelsea. So you must be thrilled with this, as he's linked to Manchester United.
Well, I never meant to be offensive to Cucurella, but I think for 60 million, for what he showed to the club, yeah, I think he was very fortunate to belong to that club and to have been chosen by the former coach. He didn't prove enough for me to be belonging to that big club. Now, knowing that Manchester United is interested about him, I might be wrong. Maybe it was just a mistake from him, or maybe it was an off-season last season for him, and it will be fantastic. But allow me to have some doubts about the promising Cucurella in Manchester United. I want to see before judging, but I'm almost ready to bet that it won't be the player that Manchester United is expecting.
Shaka, he wasn't good enough for Chelsea, according to Frank. Is he going to be good enough for Manchester United?
Well, I'm not at all sure. I'm joining Frank here in a little bit of disbelief at this move in so many ways. I mean, kind of today's transfer dealings have left me a little bit bemused. Nunes was surprising. I think Don used the term. He's a lucky boy to be joining Manchester City. Cole Palmer doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me, certainly not from a Chelsea perspective. And similarly, this. I do not know what Cucurella did at Brighton to earn that move, or certainly that price tag, to Chelsea. And I have absolutely no idea what he did at Chelsea to earn a move to Manchester United. Now, granted, Manchester United, I keep having to remind myself, aren't the club that they once were. And maybe this is who they are now. But it just makes absolutely no sense. And listen, I understand Manchester United have injury issues, Varane and Shaw, and they need bodies through the door and quickly. But I'm struggling to make sense of this one.
There's some desperation here for Manchester United, Stevie, with the Luke 100%. Shaw injury. Yep. Can you explain it beyond that?
No, because he's not going. Manchester United are not looking at this player because of what he's done on the field. Absolutely not. They clearly are in a position because of the position. Pardon the pun.
I love it.
So yeah, there's no. I'm with Shaka. I mean, why are you saying this guy?
Yeah.
He's not a great defender. He doesn't have assists like a Robertson at Liverpool, for example. And he's no Kyle Walker defensively. So what is he? Is he just a facilitator of the ball? I mean, I don't know what the guy does. So I'm with Shaka. I don't know.
Hold on.
It's got to be a loan.
Can I ask, what is a facilitator of the ball?
A facilitator.
What's a facilitator of the ball?
I'll tell you what facilitator of the ball is, Shaq. Somebody gives it to him, right? He gets it, and then he gives it to somebody else. So he facilitates the ball.
That's 60 million.
Okay.
For 60 million, yes.
It's got to be a
That's all I
loan.
can come up with.
It must be a
Come up with
loan.
anything else.
It has to be a loan, surely, because... All right, last year's injured.
To you.
Go ahead, Don.
Luke Shaw's injured. Why not just show a little bit of why not just rejig things if you're Ten Hag and just put Lisandro Martinez at left back and play Victor Lindelof or Harry Maguire at centre halves, or use one of your young kids. Surely they've got young kids. They can't be doing £60 million on Cucurella. They can't be. It must be a loan.
Don, let's move on to Cucurella. Apparently nobody thinks he should go to Manchester United. What about Sofyan Amrabat, the Moroccan international at Fiorentina? Apparently United have made a loan bid that's been rejected. Don, what do you think about that? Is that the player United need?
Proper player. He was the best player in the conference final. I thought he was the best player on the pitch by a mile. He upstaged Declan Rice on the night. I've seen a lot of him. He's a brilliant player. He's mobile. He's like a Thiago, where when the centre-back split of Man United, he drops back in and gets on the ball. He dictates the play. He's more mobile than Thiago. He gets around the pitch, but he plays the game as a 6. He's got a very, very good range of passing. And I think, listen, I would like Liverpool to sign him. I think he's that good. But if Man United sign him, because Casemiro likes to try and bomb on at times, even though Casemiro plays as a 6, he's still got that. He wants to try and break forward at times. And I think Amrabat going in there, I think he plays the position exactly what Man United need, because we've seen the last 3 games, they've been unbelievably open, like wide open in the middle of the park. He's got the brain power just to say, right, you know what? I'm going to sit still, I'll get on the ball, and I'll give it to all the good players that can bomb on. He's very, very disciplined. Amazing signing, I think.
Frank, I saw you nod your head there. Does he walk into Manchester United's 11?
Oh, yes. No. That's, for the first time today, during the show, we have finally somebody who deserves to go to a big club. and I'm very happy about that. It was very sad. It was a very sad show, since the beginning. Mo Salah is about to leave. Somebody who doesn't deserve to go to Manchester City is going to go. Somebody who doesn't deserve to go to Chelsea is going to go. Somebody from Chelsea is going to go to Manchester United. Finally, we have somebody who has the level of signing or being on loan for a big club and deserving to go there. I mean, as Don said, the guy has all the tools to serve Manchester United at the right standard, at the right level that United is. I mean, he's fantastic, and even more than Thiago, I think the guy defensively is like a dog. He will never let you go. He's very good, and offensively he can serve very well. So very good catch for United if he can do so.
All right, I've got one more transfer.
Finally, we have.
Go ahead, Shaka.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, finally, we have a transfer that makes a whole lot of sense, and this is the least likely to happen.
You see?
That just kind of sums today up.
Hey, we still got a couple days left in the window. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. One more transfer rumor to discuss. Ansu Fati linked with a move at first to Spurs, now to Brighton. Shaka, what do you think about this?
I think Ansu Fati is an incredible footballer. Last couple of seasons hampered because of injury, and hasn't really rediscovered his form, and probably needs a move away just to jumpstart things again. Now, again, to those rumours, a big part of the reason that he's choosing Brighton, or it seems like he's choosing Brighton, is because of De Zerbi and the football that they play. And I think that is refreshing to read about, where I think he recognises where he is in his career, where he is in terms of regaining that form and the style that Brighton play and the manager that De Zerbi is. I think this is a win-win all round. But as I say, unapologetically, I remain a huge Ansu Fati fan, despite the kind of ups and downs of the last 18 months or so.
Brighton over Spurs, Don. Did Ansu Fati make the right choice?
Well, help me out here, guys, because what's his best position, Sebi? Off the left or the right?
Left, I think.
So he ain't going to get in the side ahead of Matoma. He ain't going to get in Brighton side ahead of Matoma. No. So it must be being a squad player to try and, use Stevie's words, facilitate him to try and get fitter, because Solly March is in the form of his life the last 18 months on the right side. And as I said, I don't think he replaces Matoma, unless it might be long-term. It might be the case of, if they bring Ansu Fati in, eventually after a loan period, they sell Matoma for another 100 million that someone will pay. Then Ansu Fati comes in and makes Brighton millions again. It's a great one for player and club. I just don't see at the minute where he slots into that 11.
He doesn't get any Spurs 11 either.
No?
Are you taking Young Min Song out?
No, but there's 3 positions across the Spurs. They play at a 4-2-3-1. Maybe he could fit in the middle, throw him out wide. Could he get ahead of Madison, Kulusevski?
Well, he's not getting ahead of Madison. Absolutely no chance.
All right.
So now, as Don said, you're asking the guy to play.
But I mean, but you're not saying he's going to play at Brighton either. This is a guy who at one point was Barcelona's future. He can't get into Brighton now.
You're asking a guy to play at a position in the league that is way quicker than what he's used to. So you're asking somebody to do something they're not comfortable with, and everybody's going to expect Ansu Fati to be the Ansu Fati of when he was 16 and 17 years old. So the kid's under pressure straight away, regardless whether it's Brighton or Spurs.
Ansu Fati then looks like he will be joining Brighton on loan.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.